Hey guys, Tony here. So I did want to talk about Zillow and everything that's kind of going on with them because I know a lot of people, on YouTube are talking about Zillow and they're saying, oh, Zillow's going out of business or blah blah blah. First of all, Zillow's not going out of business. Zillow's real estate buying portion is going out of business. So their actual, their actual division where their iBuy program where they buy real estate, fix it up and flip it. That part is actually going to be completely dissolved. Um, they came out with a statement saying that they unfortunately they're not really good at forecasting what can and cannot happen. They did buy the top essentially, and they're saying that prices. They kind of admitted that they're like what, home prices basically don't just go up, and they kind of admitted that they probably maybe bought the top of the housing market, right? They didn't really say come out and say that exactly, but they basically said like, hey, we can't really we determined that that home prices, they're a lot harder to forecast than we originally thought. And the problem with that is that they kind of not only did they buy the top, but they ended up overbidding on an insane amount of properties, right? They ended up bidding on an insane amount of properties, you know, over their asking price. So if there was a house listed for, $600,000, they'd buy it for $650,000, and they did this for thousands of properties across the United States. Um, what happened was they're actually going to be letting go of 25% of the workforce in Zillow, and they're also going to be dissolving the iBuy program. So they're no longer going to be purchasing homes. At least Zillow is not, right? You still have companies like Open Door. You still have probably BlackRock. You have Wall Street probably still buying properties. But as far as Zillow goes, they're actually dissolving their company. Well, they're dissolving that division, and they're letting go of 25% of their workforce. And the fact that this happened is actually extremely horrible for Zillow. This is not something to be, taken lightly. This is actually a very, very, very bad sign for Zillow. It gives an insanely bad, um, you know, it's like bad management, right? Whoever is in their business intelligence department is messing up extremely horribly, or at least not necessarily them, but the upper management that didn't kind of like double check anything and like, hey, yeah, pull the trigger, pull the trigger, pull the trigger, right? So it kind of gives you a very big lack in confidence of what Zillow's management is actually capable of and what their business intelligence department is doing. The fact that they are able to actually greenlight this and being and able to them being a real estate company, and not just a real estate company but a tech real estate company at that. The fact that they messed up on forecasting on housing, that tells you immediately where the price is going, right? I think Zillow is going to keep dropping. I haven't seen the chart, but I can easily say that Zillow's probably going back to at least like $65, right? That's the next support zone, the next big support. So I can easily say that Zillow is dropping at least to $65. I would definitely, I'm not gonna play Zillow. I have, I would instead of buying puts on Zillow, I'd probably just buy more calls on RKT. You guys know I like RKT. I love RKT. I think RKT is great, but I think Zillow is dropping to at least $65. If they do not stop at 65, the next stop is 47, and then the next stop is 20. It's like $30. I'll tell you guys that right now. But I think the major trajectory for Zillow is down, because you have to think about it. It's like Google basically saying like, hey, like we don't do search anymore, or we don't know how to predict search, or we don't know how to we don't know how to we messed up because we started charging too little for ads, or blah blah blah. It doesn't give investors confidence that hey, Zillow is actually doing what they're supposed to, because they're essentially a big tech real estate company. How do you mess up forecasting, and how do you mess up the thing that you're supposed to be good at? Which is why you see price dropping so heavily, right? You went from $103 a couple of days ago to you know $70. Like, you dropped 30% in a matter of one, two, three, four trading days, right? And today's the fourth trading day. And it's kind of insane to think about. Like, thing you're supposed to be good at, you messed up, and they messed up big. And because of that, they're letting go of 25% of their workforce, and they're dissolving the iBuying program. So I think this is, if something had to happen in Zillow, this is probably one of the worst things that can possibly happen in Zillow. And it's unfortunate, but if you're a big tech real estate and you messed up on your forecasting and you overbid and you're trying to get market share by buying a bunch of properties, and then you're like, oh, guess what? We actually bought the top, And not only did we buy the top, but we actually overbid on all these, so we actually bought the top's top, right? So it's one of those things where it's kind of insane to think about that. It's like, I don't know. It's like when OnlyFans stopped doing, when they got rid of like all their mature content and stuff. It's kind of like that, right? Zillow is supposed to be a big tech real estate company. Forecasting is you're supposed to be looking at Zillow for when they think is the actual top of the real estate market. And they didn't know. They didn't know that they essentially bought the top. I'm not saying that it is like the major top, but I'm just saying, like, they're supposed to know these things. They're not supposed to mess up this bad. So yes, I do think this is extremely horrible for Zillow, and I think they're gonna keep going down. I easily see this company. I easily see Zillow at $65. I'm like 99.9% sure they're going down at $65. If 65 gets broken, you're going to like 50, $45. If that gets broken, you're going down to $30. I would not be surprised to see Zillow, completely overextend it down to like $50. I would not be surprised to see another $20 price drop. I'll tell you guys that right now. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.